Okay, here we go. We are on video 2 of 9.13. So we have 15x squared minus 165x equals negative 630. So we needed this to equal 0, so we're going to add 630 to both sides. And so then now you have your A, your B, and your C. So these are big numbers, so that's not fun, but let's go ahead and do it. X equals negative B plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Your b is a negative 165. So your negative b would be positive 165 plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times 5 times 15 times 630, 4ac. If you look here, the only negative is the one out here at the front. So you are going to subtract. So 165 squared gives you 27,225. When you take 4 times 15 times 630, you get 37,800. Well, when you subtract that, that's going to give you a negative number. Remember, you can't have a negative in front of a square root. Therefore, not in front of a square root, you can't have a negative inside a square root. Therefore, that one's no solution, and you can stop right there. Let's look over at D. This time it doesn't equal 0, so we need to subtract 60x from both sides. When you do that, make sure you see that 60 is your B and not your C, because it does have the x variable. So there's your A, your B, your C. Then you get x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So then b, since it's a negative 60, make it a positive, plus or minus square root, this is b squared, negative 60 squared, minus 4 times a times c. So then you get 3,600 when you take 60 squared, and 4 times 36 times 25 also equals 3,600. That equals 0, so you're taking the square root of 0. So basically, you get 60 plus or minus 0 over 72, because 2 times 36. 60 over 72 is 5/6, and then there's not going to be a second one. So remember, when you're graphing this one, you're going to have the x-intercept at 5/6, and that's going to be also the vertex. Let's flip it over and look at the back. So this is about St. Louis's Arch, and they want us to find how wide it is at the base and how tall it is. So this is the equation that they give us to represent the parabola that we see on the arch. And so you have that, and then minus, there isn't an x term, so you're just going to put minus 0x plus 630. Now you got your A, your B, your C. So then you plug it in. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So then 0 squared is 0, but you have a negative and a negative. So that means when you multiply them, they're going to be positive. 4 times that times 630 gets us something really close to 16. And then when you take, so you have plus or minus square root of 16, 2 times that big old number gives you that. Square root of 16 is 4. So I did 4 over 0.0127, and I got that. And then when I did negative 4 over that, that's what I get. So what that tells me is if I were graphing this, which they tell us to do down here, I'm graphing at negative 300, almost 15, and positive 315. So then how wide is it at the base? Well, it's going to be that 314.96 or close to 315 times 2. So it's going to be 629, or if you round it up to 315, it would be 630 from here to here. And then, how tall is the arch? Well, if you're thinking about how tall it is, that's going to be the vertex. And so we know it's going to be right in between the two x-intercepts. Well, the place in between that is 0, which is amazing, because then that makes this math super easy. So you plug in 0 here, and you get that it's 630 feet tall. So, hey, that's kind of fun. The arch is just as long as it is tall. Good to know. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.